Worry. Maybe that's you today. Maybe when you walked in this morning, you had worries. You had things in your life, things that you're thinking through, things that you're processing, things that you're dealing with on a daily basis, wondering how you're going to make it, how you're going to survive, how you're going to make it forward. Jesus wants to put a spotlight on that today. Why do we worry? I believe worry is a response, or maybe a result, I should say. In fact, in the verse ahead of this, Jesus, because our verse does start with therefore, and so the verse ahead of this, the reason why it's therefore, he says this: you cannot serve both God and money. No one can serve two masters. He will hate the one and love the other, or he will love the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. So the context for Jesus here is talking about who is going to rule your life. Who is going to be over you? You cannot serve both God and money. And so the context for the people is money. For you, it may be something different. For us, it may be something different. So Jesus goes into verse 25. He starts talking about three things that were very common for those individuals in that day: food, drink, clothes. Very easy. Why do you worry, saying, what are we going to eat? What are we going to drink? What are we going to wear? You worry about what you're going to eat? You worry about what you're going to drink? You worry about what you're going to wear? I'm sure you have a routine in the morning when you're getting ready, how much time you spend in front of the mirror, how much time you spend picking out clothes. How many of you walked into the closet this morning or pulled out the dresser and said, I don't want to wear any of this today? It happens, right? And so we worry about, is this going to look right? Is this going to go together? The other day, I met some guys for golf, and I took out a polo, and I changed here at church because I was going to meet them. I break out this polo, and it's white, and it had like spots on it. And I was like, oh no, I can't go golfing with spots on my shirt. The shirt worked fine, though. It covered my body. It was breathable. I could have worn it to golf in. No one probably would have cared at all. But I'm going, I can't wear this shirt to golf. And so I ran down to TJ Maxx and bought a new polo so I could go golfing in a polo that didn't have dirt on it, because I wasn't going to go play outside in the dirt already. But we are ridiculous sometimes, myself included. And I'm sure you weren't like this. I'm sure you're not that way. I'm sure it's just me. It's a me problem. But how many times do you wonder, man, what are we going to eat tonight? You wonder what we're going to drink. Can I get Starbucks this morning? Can I get Dunkin' this morning? And so we wonder about what we're going to eat. We wonder about what we're going to drink. And for these individuals, it was more of a primary need, right? It may have been more of a necessity for them. Where is our next meal going to come from? What is our next drink going to be? What is our clothes that we're going to be able to wear? Most people only had one outfit. I mean, it was a cloak. They had one thing that they could wear on the outside, and that was it. They didn't have as much luxury as we have today. And so for us, it's just amplified. It's amplified for us because we go, what we do have and what we do have in the freezer and what we do have in the fridge and what we do have in the cupboard, we go, man, I don't want that tonight. How many of you guys have cupboards full, fridges full, freezers full, partially full, I mean, you get it. But you look in there and you go, I don't want any of this. And it's just, there's food and stuff everywhere. Everywhere. And you go, I don't want any of this. Yes, we do. We're ridiculous. And so Jesus says, why do you worry? Why do you worry about what you're going to eat, what you're going to drink, what you're going to wear? He says, is not life more important than food, and the body more important than clothes? I think all of us would agree with that, right? The fact that we are alive is a testament to how important life is. We're alive. It's more important that what we are is alive than what goes on our body or in our body, right? Life is more important. And then Jesus points out nature. He points out creation. He says this: look at the birds of the air. They don't sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. And so I thought about this for a moment. I thought about how hilarious would it be to see a bird put on some overalls and grab his lunch pail and go out to the farm to work. He's got his 2 worms in his pail, and he's going out. But when you think, birds don't plant seeds, they eat them. They don't plant them, they eat them. Birds don't come back later and go, I got to reap this harvest. I got to bring the sickle with me and I got to cut this down. I mean, I was imagining a little bird driving a tractor. Like, this is hilarious. Like, Jesus has a sense of humor here. You don't see birds sow, reap, or store away. Birds don't have a barn where they go, I'm going to store all this stuff away. And yet your heavenly Father feeds them. You see, Jesus does a little trick here for us. What we do, why we worry, is because we are looking at we. We're looking at ourselves. We're focused on ourselves. And what Jesus says is, how about you take your eyes off of you for a moment and look around. Look around you. Look at creation. Look at how good of a job God does with creation. Birds, they're well fed. They're taken care of. Have you ever seen a bird panhandling? You ever seen a bird saying, got up too late, need 2 worms? I don't think so. You never see a bird with a sign that says, 2 little birds at home, need help. Will work for food. You don't see that. You do see birds going here and there and here and there and landing and picking stuff up, flying off, picking stuff up. You do see that. So it's not like birds don't do anything and they just wait for God to bring them worms all the time. It's not how it works. We know that. We get that. So birds do work, but God does take care of them. And if God does take care of birds, if birds aren't falling down dead or panhandling on the side of the street, if God does take care of birds, he says, are you not much more valuable than birds? Essentially, if you can look out and see that God sustains and takes care of creation, animals are taken care of, those unless they dart across the street and they're going to get hit, it's on them. Squirrels, sorry. If God can take care of creation, can't God take care of you? I think what's taking place here is that in that culture, in that day, those individuals, the spotlight was on them. They were thinking about what they were most concerned with, what they were most focused on, what was taking their time, talent, and treasure away. It was themselves. They were worried about themselves. And it's a result of when we focus too much on us. Are you not much more valuable than they? And who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to his life? So it's not even healthy for us to even consider worrying, because it doesn't add anything to us. It only takes away from us. Anybody ever gone to the doctor and because you've been worrying, you've got a little pickup in your heart rate? The doctor goes, hey, your heart rate's up. What's going on? I'm getting to that age now where I wake up and I've got a little pain in my knee and I'm thinking, oh, shoot, I'm going to need surgery. Or maybe you wake up and you got a little ting in your chest and you go, oh, no, I'm having a heart attack. I'm dying early. This is probably one of the last weeks in my life where I will not have glasses. I'm 40. I hit 40. I walk through the grocery store, I walk through a store, and I get dizzy because I can't zoom in. I can see forever. I can see distance. I can see, I'm farsighted, I guess is the term, because I didn't even care before what the term was. But now I can't zoom in without getting dizzy and like, I got to hold it away from me. It's like those commercials where you turn into your parents. You know, I'm like, oh man, I'm turning into my dad. But how many of us, we worry about that? They go, oh man, is something wrong with me? I got cancer. I got cancer behind my eyeballs and I got to go to the doctor. I mean, we think something little and we magnify, right? We go, I'm dying. That's all there is to it. There's something wrong with my back. I got to go get this checked out. No, it's not, Debbie. No, it's not. But we worry. Jesus goes on to say this. And why do you worry about clothes? See how the lilies of the field grow? They do not labor or spin, yet I tell you, not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If you consider that for a moment, what Jesus is trying to get across to the people in that day, you spend so much time in front of the mirror, you spend so much time worried about what you're going to wear, and you can't even compare to the grass, to flowers. That God puts so much into how he takes care of creation that what his flowers how he clothes his flowers is better than you could ever dress yourself. He says, not even Solomon, the king, Solomon, who was the richest man that they'd ever known, how well-dressed Solomon was, could never compare to the lilies of the field. That's the point. I mean, Jesus is saying, you could never compare. If God takes care of grass that well, can't God take care of you? Man. And so Jesus is just putting a spotlight on it. You care too much about what you wear. It's not you. I'm not talking about you. Just Jesus talking about those individuals. I'm sure you don't spend too much time in front of the mirror, worried about your clothes, worried about what you have in your closet. I'm sure that's not you. It's just them. We don't have to worry about it. We'll get back into this. If that is how God clothed the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? And I think also, as we talked about birds panhandling, I don't think I've ever seen a homeless man who was naked. I don't think I've ever seen, if you see somebody panhandling who's homeless, they still have clothes. In fact, I've seen homeless people with cell phones and backpacks and lots of cool gear. They may not have much money, or they may not have a house, but they have clothes. And so if they're taken care of, and if God can take care of grass, God can take care of you and me. So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things. And I think if there's a sentence in here that hurts the most, it's that one. It says, for the pagans run after all these things. Like if there's a criticism, not a condemnation, but if there's a criticism of Jesus about people, he says, sometimes you live as if you don't know me. Man, that hurts. Sometimes you live as if you don't know me. Because pagan essentially means someone without God. Someone who has no faith, someone who has no belief, someone who has no hope for salvation, someone without relationship or knowledge of God at all. For those individuals, they actually pursue these things. They actually are cared, they actually care and are concerned and value these things above all else. What are they going to eat? What are they going to drink? What are they going to wear? Because it's all about them. It says, sometimes you live as if you don't know me. For your heavenly Father knows that you need them. If we could spend just a moment there. Jesus could have made the comment about Jesus that he is Lord, that God is Lord, he's almighty, he's powerful, he's creator, he's perfect. He could have used lots of different terms, but he said the Father. For your Father knows what you need. One of the things that we can rest assured in is that our Father in heaven wants to and does take care of us. He does take care of you. He does look after you. Many times we live and act as if we don't believe that, though. There's some verses I'll read for you. Psalm 139:4. It says, even before there's a word on my tongue, Lord, you know it all.